Big dog. Big dog for the young boy.
Big Talk, episode 5, and we're here with a special guest and another special guest at the same time. Look at that, man! Amazing people that we've known for quite some time now. We pretty much grew up with these gentlemen right here, and we had some amazing times together. And these people are Noel and Jason.
Hola.
Yeah, he's an artist, singer, songwriter. What else? Shit, everything.
A go-getter. You're a go-getter.
Hustler.
That's a good way to put it. Jason is his manager. What else are you, Jason?
And my brother.
Yeah, manager, brother. I'm out here. I be breathing, living, loving. That's it.
I like that, man.
That's big fact.
Like that, and we're here for another episode of Big Talk. And what we're gonna do here is have a large talk,
Yeah, pretty much.
not the small. So, Noel,
What's up, man?
tell us about yourself, man. Who are you? No, matter of fact, how do you feel? How do you feel right now?
I feel good.
good?
We're drinking wine right now. I like that.
Yeah.
That's the type of shit.
How does it feel to be back in New York? Because you're staying in
feels-
LA now, right?
Yeah, I'm living in LA now. It feels great. I've had a lot of Chinese food, a lot of pizza, good pizza.
You like
How is
Mexican
it out
food from
there? Is there a big difference?
Yeah, Mexican food is the best thing out there.
Yeah, right.
Actually, it is one of the top tier things out there. But
Yeah.
like Thai food is popping out there too.
Thai food?
Yeah.
Gotta try that next.
One of my
Yeah.
favorites. One of my favorites out here too.
Yeah.
But how's like the pizza and shit out there? Is it anywhere near?
trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish it was nice. I wish I could say something
But like,
different.
why?
The water.
I heard that. I heard that.
I don't understand why they can't ship water over.
They're not gonna do that with pizza though.
So the pizza is back because of the water?
Yeah, because sauce.
Yeah,
sauce
they have to mix it with the flour, right?
based.
True.
Yeah.
Sauce is made
Wow,
with water,
man.
a lot of water.
But I feel like people always say that New York pizza is like good. But I mean, I don't be eating pizza outside of New
Not
York.
just good,
except
sir.
for-
The best.
You think so?
Aside
I
from-
don't know. I
aside
had
from
Dominican
Italy.
pizza. Dominican pizza is really good.
Better than the New York pizza?
The flavor is just completely different. You gotta try it. You gotta
yo,
try it.
They put corn on it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
put
yeah?
corn, ham, like,
Ham,
you know,
yeah.
they do the Hawaiian.
Bro, my girl told me that in Egypt, the way they make pizza is like they'll have the dough and they'll put ketchup on it and they'll like put some cheese on it. And I'm just like, damn, I don't think I would like to try Egyptian pizza, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
I'm
don't
sure
blame
it's good for the
Why does
people
it sound
there.
like a regular sandwich?
It sounds like I could just put a piece of bread. And just,
Yo,
like,
have
put
any of
my
y'all been to
pizza.
Italy, matter of fact?
Nah,
Yeah.
How?
Well, no,
Oh,
I don't know if you were asking them.
Everybody. So general
But your
question.
answer was yes. That's a lot cooler than my
Yeah,
answer.
no.
I mean, because I know he has, so you know, I just wanted to.
I would. Yeah, I would love to go.
Bruh.
I mean,
It's beautiful.
I recommend going there and get yourself a whole fucking pie. Your pie is gonna be like fucking €5 because pizza over there is like fucking
cheap,
like
yeah.
a chopped cheese over here or bacon egg and cheese over there. You know what I mean?
That's fire.
So the pizza is amazing. If you ever go, which you probably should go. You got
oh, well, definitely. Yeah.
The pizza,
I
the
definitely gotta
pasta,
touch
the
that side.
gelato. It's great, man.
So-
Just the flavors and everything is just more natural.
I can imagine.
No, I have a question for you, bro.
Yeah.
What brings you here right now?
New
New York.
I came back to New York for some work, and I guess like to visit a little bit also as well. And
How long
then,
y'all here for?
the trip's almost over actually. So
Shit.
yeah, I've been out here for almost a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've been productive up to your standards now?
Oh,
This time?
beyond, I think, because our expectations were set on one thing, and it ended up being set on something else after, and after that, it kind of just like snowballed, affected, and
What kind of work have you done while you've been here?
just strictly writing.
Yeah?
Yeah, just strictly writing. I've been able to record some music for myself too, which is kind of cool.
Dope.
Yeah.
So are you here like with specific sessions for certain artists, or are you here just like in general to get inspired by New York or like,
Yeah, at first it was like almost assignment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the artist had to go back home. So instead, I just went around and started talking to people that we work with already, and ended up getting some more work. Yeah, and that's what I've been doing for the whole
what's up,
month.
man.
Yeah,
It's a
You
good
flowing.
trip. Sounds like a good trip to me.
yeah, a lot of food, a lot of work. I got family time too, you know. So
Fire.
it's nice.
True.
Yeah.
So let's get to the nitty gritty. What made you the person that you are today? Like what made you want to get into music? I'm not gonna get that deep just yet.
That's deep.
Not
Big
yet.
talk for a reason.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet. But we'll get there. But
Yeah.
like, what made you want to get into music, or like, when did this love for music start for you?
I guess the honest answer is that when I was a kid, I found out I had a singing voice, but I grew up in a family that wasn't really like open to artist idea or like, you know, outside of just going to school. So I kept it to myself for a long time. And eventually, I think around like 16, I maybe told Jason that I could sing maybe like when I was like 14. And it was something that he was like, "Are you serious? Like, dead ass?" Like, and I was like, yeah, I really could do this. And then I showed it to him and he was like, "This is for real. Like, you're dead ass." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I didn't take it seriously work-wise until I was like 17 or 18. It's like around that age. I got a job at a bank. My first paycheck was about $821. I went to Sam Ash and I got all my equipment. It cost me $764. I got left with whatever the difference is for the 2 weeks.
That's fire, bro.
And yeah, and then that's where it started.
That's fire. It's a good story. I like that.
Yeah.
Your first paycheck? Shit.
Yeah, it was like my first real paycheck from there. Yeah, and I remember thinking, I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna eat tonight?" And my cousin was like, "Nah, we're going to get pizza," and I went to go get pizza that night. Yeah,
Now we go back to eat pizza.
yeah.
So then about
Pizza saves lives.
Did you have an idea like off the rip when you did start creating the music? When you got your setup, did you have like a direction that you wanted to go with your music instantly, or was it something that you developed over time?
No, when I bought all that stuff, I did not touch it for another 6 months. I was very intimidated by it.
It'd be like that though.
Yeah, I was very intimidated by Pro Tools. I was very intimidated by hearing my voice.
Yeah.
That was something that I was super intimidated with. And yeah, 6 months later, I just started to mess with it. I started to mess with everything, and yeah, I learned Pro Tools. That was like how it started.
That's interesting. It's funny you well, not funny, but it's interesting you mentioned that like you were intimidated when you hear your voice and stuff, and that kind of like that's interesting because it's like you as a artist or a songwriter, like that's another step that you had to take, and it's like you said, it probably took you some time, but you still went back to it because you knew like this is still what I want to do type shit.
Yeah, I don't remember. Sorry to cut you off, but I don't remember what those 6 months, what happened in those 6 months. But I know that it was definitely fear that stopped me.
But it's good that you noticed it. Yeah. And then that's dope, man.
I actually wonder what I did for those 6 months. Like that.
Maybe you just live life. You were just chilling.
Probably.
Do your thing.
Yeah, I worked at a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, there's no life in there.
It's not that. It's like when you're young, you work at a bank, you have money. It's like, that's a problem.
Yeah, man, we all been there.
Yeah.
I worked in a bank too. So
Yeah, all of y'all have worked at banks.
We'll get out of work stressed. We go drink and party.
You use all your money for that at the bank.
Yeah.
And you're taught that by the older heads that are there, which is crazy because you're like, you would think like you have kids like our age. Literally,
Bro,
I was there at
real.
18 and 3 of them had 18-year-olds.
Wow.
And I was still going drinking with them and shit like that. Yeah, so you start to think about it. You're like, damn, you could at least like slap me or something. Like, go home. Like, stop spending your money.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, so at what point did you like make it your full time to make music?
Oh, 6 years ago.
It's been 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. Probably 6 years ago.
fucking
I call
dope.
him and I'm like, I'm leaving this job. It's done.
The same bank job?
No. I was working at Orvis. Yeah.
What's that?
It was a retail store.
Okay.
And it was on 44th originally, and now it's on 42nd.
Wasn't like hunting goods?
Yeah, it was like selling hunting goods. It was actually my cousin's husband put me on. Shout out to Douglas if he ever watches this. I love him. Douglas Lopez. It's my guy. Always believed in me. But yeah, he hooked me up with a job, and yeah, eventually I just left, and I was like, yo, I can't do this anymore. And like I called him. I remember, and I was like, yo, I quit. And I was like, yo, I have to like figure it out. And I just told him, I was like, I'm never gonna stop.
Fire.
And I haven't stopped for 6 years.
Look at that, bro.
Yeah.
Was it something specific that like popped up that you're like, oh no, now is the moment, or was it just like an accumulation of?
It's accumulation.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely accumulation. Definitely. It was like a feeling like it's almost like going for like I always knew I was a hard worker. Sorry, I don't know why I'm like tearing a little bit, but I knew I was a
Getting
hard
emotional talking about this work.
I knew I was a hard worker always, but yeah. I just wanted to like do this for real. Like I really wanted to do the job.
Yeah, like I told you, this man's good.
I started talking about Douglas, and that got me. That man believed in me, bro. Thank you. But yeah, I worked really hard. after that, and I haven't stopped.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah.
It's a good story. So then after 6 years, so you've been. That was the last time you worked a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, about 6 years. The first thing that I got after we did that, after we decided that, because it was like, what are we gonna do for finance? Really, like the biggest thing, because at that time we're thinking artist, we're not thinking songwriter. Yeah, we haven't graduated. We're very naive at this point, and we think we have it figured out, and we don't, and we see that, and then I go on a trip. My friend Crystal, she had just gotten signed to Barry Weiss, who runs Song Productions and like this other label. I don't know if he's still there, but he signed her personally. And she invites me. She's like, yo, I think that you'd be very valuable for this trip. I tell Jason, I'm like, yo, all we have to do is pay for tickets, right? Because there was like a fucking house. There was I could curse, right?
Yeah.
All right. There's a house. There's a Mercedes. There's like a bunch of shit. Our equipment.
What was that in Cali?
Yeah, it was the second time in California. I went to California one time when I was 13. It was my graduation gift from my parents.
Nice.
But yeah, so I go and that opened my brain. It opened my brain. I learned not everything, right? I learned everything that I learned on that trip led to putting it on a post-it on the wall and saying, what the fuck does that mean? You know, it really opened up everything to like for us to kind of say, what is a budget?
Yeah.
What is being signed? You know, what is royalty?
So,
What are all these things? I'm hearing them in every room. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm calling him like, yo, I'm learning this, I'm learning that, you know, like, and then the perks of it also, right?
Yeah.
Getting signed. I remember we got off the plane. No, I got there. Oh my God, this trip was so crazy. I got there and Crystal, her label didn't pay for her trip yet. So I get there without talking to anybody. And I land and I call Crystal and she's like, I'm still in New York.
Wow. So you by yourself?
I'm by myself in Los Angeles for the first time as an adult.
As an adult, yeah.
Yeah, and I called Jason and I'm like, you're never gonna fucking believe what just happened. And I remember I stayed in like this apartment in downtown with like 4 other people. And I stayed there for like about 6 days. And then I got picked up. After that, I went to the house and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
But you made it happen. That's the important thing.
Yeah, we made it happen.
Yeah, you guys.
So wait, did you pull up to that trip too?
No,
you met
no,
him?
I didn't.
Okay. So you were like here, just helping him from here, like yo, like
We're panicking. We're not. We're panicking. I'm at the airport, like, what?
Yeah.
How much money do we even have? Because like in our head, it was just pay for the tickets.
Yeah.
You know, pay for the tickets, help with groceries.
And even that was probably a one-way. Because a lot of times we get the one-ways
No, I think.
and then figure it out on the way back.
Yeah, that might have been a one-way. Yeah, you're right. That might have been a
Shit.
one-way.
Yo, that's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That might have been a one-way.
That's really that's super fucking commendable. Just like knowing
For
that
real.
you're gonna make your way. Each step, you're gonna make your way, and you'll make your way back as long as that's meant to be as well. You're leaving yourself open to that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I think having the support system for that, you know, because like I feel like if I was at LAX and I would have been like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I had nothing, it'd be different, you know. The story would have been very different. But yeah, it was just a wild. That was a wild trip. Like,
And that was your first time working like writing
As a songwriter.
for somebody else.
yeah.
How was that experience?
It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Was it hard for you to get into, or was it something that blossomed?
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
I always like. It's not that we didn't know that the songwriters existed. It was just like, I don't know. We just never had the conversation. We just it was just nothing. It wasn't something that we were like, hey, why don't we just songwrite for a little while and then after that continue. You know, it was. I think that was like the higher power's way of showing me it, of being able to show me it. You know,
It's fire, bro. It's fire.
but yeah, being able to show me through my friend as well, who's now family. Like she's my big sis now. You know, like she every time I'm in LA, we link up. Over here, we link up. Like she takes care of so much stuff. We talk about like it's crazy. Like, but it all started that thing I think tightened up there.
And you're living there now in LA.
Yeah, and I'm living in LA now.
What made you want to make that move from New York to LA?
He said want. I feel like it was also a necessity.
The work was there, probably, right?
Yeah, but I got left there.
True.
I got left there.
He needed to get left.
Yeah, that's what we found out.
Everything.
We found out I needed to get left, right? Because so I go out there, writing trip, same thing. I go out there for a writing trip. Everything's going fine. We have a good budget at this point, right? We had a great budget. It was 2 weeks. We're like 2 weeks, 5 days with this guy. He's like, stay out there. We found this bungalow. It was really, really cheap. It was scary as fuck because it was like open. But I was like, fuck it. Like, this is where we stay. Like, and it was awesome. Like, and then it just went to crap a little bit. Like, the whole thing went to shit. And COVID starts.
Damn.
That thing.
COVID starts. He's like, all right, just what happened is the stuff with the other artist stops. My boy Castle, shout out. Another guy right there. Love him. He tells me, yo, just come with me to sessions. He's like, you here already? He's like, just come with me to sessions. I'm like, all right, cool.
So like at this time you like work slowed down for you, so now you're more open to do like those.
It was another
sessions?
moment where like we had to press the brakes and say, what are we gonna do?
Gotcha.
Because
You
it was like
figure it out type shit.
Yeah, because it was like, what are we gonna, what am I gonna do? Like the kid's not doing the work anymore, so I'm like, I came for this kid, and he's not doing it anymore, so I'm like, what am I gonna do? So we speak. I think like 2 weeks pass. I'm at this guy's house. I forgot his name right now, but he was really cool, the guy. And yeah, I just told Jason, I'm like, what do you think we should do? And he's like, I think you should stay. He's like, we should just figure it out. Just see if we find an apartment.
Yeah. At this point, we're looking at like Airbnbs, figuring out.
We were looking for another Airbnb.
Yeah, bouncing around Airbnbs, figuring out like what's the price of this. Always gonna charge you a cleaning fee. But my mom raised me right, so I clean after myself.
Yeah.
All these cleaning fees and taxes, everything adds up. And at this point, we really had to just break it down and say, well, even if you come back to New York, all of your work is there. So why? Yeah.
And that's what happened when Castle showed me that, right? He showed me like off of one phone call, all of a sudden we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we're just running around all of Hollywood, all of West Hollywood, all of the Valley, and we're just going to all these sessions and we're killing it. Like we're having mad fun. Like and then it was just like that conversation of just like, what am I gonna do when I come back home? All we're gonna do is
quiet.
time. Yeah, it's quiet.
You left in like February. I think it was like right after the Super Bowl is when you left.
Yeah, maybe I got there like the 3rd. I got there February 3rd, and I never came back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I never came until this time. This is the first time I came back.
That's crazy, man. That's dope, bro.
How does it feel to have like let's move to like family? Like how does it feel to be like that far away from family? Is it something that you're dealing with constantly, or is it something that you learned to deal with already?
At first it sucked, but then everybody started coming. Everybody started coming to visit, and then I think I can speak for all of you and say that it turned around. Everybody was like, I want to stay. Like everybody's like, what the fuck? Like the weather's so nice. Like I want to stay. And then it turned into that. But I've always told him like, yo, whenever the opportunity comes to go to New York, I want to go. I wanted to come see my grandma. I wanted to see my mom. I wanted to see my sister. I want to see them. Like, so I was very like, yo, whenever. Yeah, but yeah, the question was,
the family. Yeah, how you deal with the family?
How do you deal with that?
Yeah, now to bring it to present time, my cousin has moved there. My sister is moving there.
Yo.
Wow.
Luca moved there. One of our really close friends, another
amazing
family member,
producer at that.
Another family member, Luca Brockett. He moved out there too. So it's like something magnetic is happening.
Yeah. So after they go visit you.
Sammy already. My cousin Sammy, she already had a plan that she was gonna go after. She was working in the Cayman Islands, I believe. Yeah, but after the Cayman, she wanted to go somewhere else, and I think she just didn't want to go back to New York.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Fire.
whatever job she was with, I think gave her the opportunity to go to
that happens a lot where like people leave New York to go to LA to just find work and stuff like that. I know one of my friends, he did that too, a producer. And, you know, he's just figuring shit out over there too.
Yeah.
A lot of people just hustling and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people hustling out there.
That's dope what you said about like it being magnetic. I feel like the fact that you were able to go out there, follow your dreams, and you're prospering doing that, it also kind of inspires whoever's around you. Like whether it be like something that they notice or not, but it just gets them to be like, yo, I could do something similar. Like I'm not tied down to this you know, this island, this rock that we're on right now. So that's
it's a big fact. Yeah,
dope that you're following and you're able to like spread that out through just vibrations and shit.
Yeah,
super dope.
Yeah, my sister told me, she was like, yo, I think I want to go out there to just clear my mind, and I was like, yeah, do it, fuck it.
That's awesome.
You know, it was nice for her to look at it like that, because she had gone like twice already. I think she pulled up on me twice or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, if she felt like that, I was like, yeah, fuck it. And the fact that there's more family members there, I think that helps too. Yeah.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
Shit.
I wanted to ask you this, like, for your writing sessions, when you're writing for somebody else, like, is there something that like, what allows you to work your best? Like, is there a certain environment that you like to be in? Is there something that you could just do anywhere, anytime?
I think I'm not too hard to work with. Like, I don't need certain things. But my main concern, especially when I get to work with an artist up front, is them. You know, like I've always told him, like, if I have a business, if somebody ever came with me and told me like, put a portfolio together of like how you take care of an artist, like I always tell him like, this is more important to go eat with them. It's more important to talk with them. We could go smoking for half an hour. It's more important to do those things than to tell him or her that I worked with so and so and everything went so well, and there's like this record that's gonna go platinum and all this other bullshit. Like, I'd rather like hear what the hell they're about.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah, and talk to them. Like, I'm gonna get way more out of that. I'm gonna get so much more. Like, now we can go into the room, hear some chords, hear some riffs, and now we're actually talking about something that makes sense.
That's fire, bro. That's a very good way to look at it. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
I find that super important to do.
Super dope. I don't know if you're allowed to say any names, but like what's been a session that you're writing for somebody else that was just like your favorite session or your favorite song that came out, like either or both?
My favorite till date still has to be my No ID session.
Yeah, a legend.
Yeah, my No ID session was insane. That guy's a legend. He's a wizard. He's like, and he's not a person that keeps the gems away. Like, he definitely throws the gems out. You know, I spent 16 hours with him. It felt like 4 days.
Wow.
You know, because it was like so much activity, so much was happening, and my life was in a fucking crazy place at that point. Like, that week, that day, my life was like a crazy ass place. But I took 16 hours out of my life to like sit there and really work, and it was an amazing experience. It was like 4 rooms going at once, and you could walk into any room and just work. Like,
that's so dope.
Yeah, and you get to meet so many people. I made a connection I made there was my man Johan Lennox. If you guys look up his work, he's done strings on everything that you love already. But yeah, Johan, he came in there and just killed it, and it stuck with me. Like, it stuck with me, and I've gotten to work with him after that too, which is pretty cool.
That's fire.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of the stuff that you mentioned, it all comes down to decisions that you made. That, you know, sometimes those decisions they were difficult decisions to make. Like, for example, staying in LA, or like, you know, taking that type of work. Like you were saying, you're going through some difficult stuff in your life when you were doing those sessions, or there was a lot going on. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the stuff that you were doing and you did is like, you know, a lot of times you were faced with like difficult decisions to do. And like, what do you feel like helped you make the correct decision? Because I feel like from the stories you have told me, I feel like you always make the right decision, which is face the consequences or whatever it is. And you just get to another stage of your life that is like, look at this. You know, the fact that you face this, now you award it with this type shit. And there's still more. Like, you know, you continue.
Every time I make the decision, I think it's the wrong one.
That's interesting.
Every single time. Because I'm just like, what the fuck?
Right at the moment when you make the decision.
But he makes decisions. I think that's a
really
big,
important.
that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's
too.
very true.
That's what.
And I think like making the decision leads to high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
That's very true.
No,
That's so true.
where like I feel like he and I have had batters with, of course, because it's like what, like when if he puts me in a high risk, high reward situation, we don't know if there's a reward.
Yeah.
Same way if I do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's moments where in the past where we may be like, I don't know if this is the right one.
Yeah.
And there's frustration and there's real frustration of
That's
like,
true, yeah.
what is gonna happen right now? And we shoot pretty well.
Yeah, figure it out.
our average shot is kind of good.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of good. And I think it's not because of it's luck. It's definitely some luck. Yeah, definitely. But it's also for some reason we don't quit.
Yeah, that's
You know,
what it
like,
is.
Take your steps. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what happens. It's like we can always figure it out.
That's very true,
Yeah.
man. That's really important to
Yeah,
to mention. And
that's how I knew he was gonna take this route. Like to me, I heard the roughest of drafts. You know what I mean? Like the things that you're probably embarrassed to play out loud to people. And
Yeah.
even the first time he even performed, and I wasn't there because I think he did it some other place that I wasn't around.
Yeah.
And-
Gala.
And I was like, you do this? Like, it's still a shock, right? Like, I was like, I didn't know you're that good. But even the shit that sucks, he kept going and kept working
what
on
it
it
is, yeah.
relentlessly. And one thing I always saw was like, he was still pushing further and further. A lot of people fail, and that shit hurts,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Falling hurts. But he keeps fucking going. And I think that's like the biggest thing, almost more than a talent or more than
That's very true.
a
yeah.
voice where your ears like
Absolutely.
it's the fact that you're fucking relentless.
Yeah.
And we've been, I mean, you're talking about like how good our percentage is now, or how a lot of shots we take seem like they're just a good decision, but there's been a fuck ton of bad ones. We've been in a lot of shitty situations where we're looking at each other like,
What's gonna happen?
we have to find a way. We don't know what it's gonna be, but we're gonna figure
You
it
guys
out.
figure it out anyways, right?
And it's always gonna
Yeah.
find a resolution, right? So I could help when it comes to maybe the bigger picture, but when it comes to creating what the product is, I'm not involved in that. That's all. He has to figure that out by himself. Just the person in the mirror has to just have that conversation and just like, what the fuck are we gonna do?
No, but that's dope, man. That's dope that you have that. You know, you guys are playing your roles and stuff. Like, you know, he's being the creative, and then you're helping him on those side, like figuring things out type of thing. Because it's like
on the sanity side.
Yeah, because it's crazy because a lot of people don't have that. Like a lot of people have to do both. You know, they got both. Or like for example, us like kind of similar, but he's an artist, I'm the engineer, so I help him on that thing, that side of things. But it's like we still got to figure out the business side of things and all those things, and it's like that takes away from your creativity. So 100%. That's dope that you guys are able to find that balance and help each other out in that way.
Yeah.
I have this one question that I wanted to ask you that I didn't want to forget. And I forgot.
Too much going on right now.
Oh no. So like I wanted to know like if there's any artists like that inspired you to start or that inspire you to this day that you listen to their music, or just like what inspires you in general?
You want me to answer the first, like the inspired as a kid, maybe? Like,
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, yeah.
So,
There was a time where this is like my favorite story.
It
You've
is
heard
your
it
favorite story.
1,000 times,
Yeah.
but
It's his
they
favorite story.
haven't.
I think this is also where he like, it's like the full punch package of like, nah, this nigga's a weirdo. Like,
And it started when you were 9.
yeah.
what is it? We're
It's
gonna
like,
hear.
yeah. So
Wait. I do
I'm
have
not
a question
gonna
right
tell
before
you gotta wait till the next podcast.
before you forget that. You forget that. I wanted to ask. So since when you guys known each other? So like you knew him since like a little kid or like middle school?
Yeah,
Nine
the
and
story
10.
is really the introduction, and
Fire.
it's
I gotta hear that story then.
So yeah, he's probably 9. I'm like 10ish. It's in 5th grade. That's what counts. It's in 5th grade,
5th grade, yeah.
and
I get transferred.
the new kid is in his class. So we're like, who the hell is this guy? Right? So we do 10 years old, right? It's whatever, 2000 or whatever, right? We don't say ages, but you know. So we talk about who's popping, what you rocking with, who's in your CD player, right? So talking about Get Rich or Die Trying I had that album crazy. Fortunately, I had a TP2 R. Kelly album, but like back then we didn't know.
Back then.
Now I got to check it out the window.
Yeah. We didn't have Google. We didn't have
Google back then. Back then,
we did.
all I had
we didn't use it.
Google or Netflix, yo.
I had the child safety thing on, so they couldn't show me what R. Kelly was up to. But so after we're all talking about 50, Ja Rule, all these things, he's like, "Oh, my favorite artist? No, Michael Jackson." I'm like, "What you?" Michael Jackson.
I said that shit with my chest.
I'm like, he's not on BET. He's never been on an episode of Rap City. And he was just mad confident. It's true. At 9 years old, talking about Michael Jackson. And I was like, yeah, like, I hear the big deal, but I don't know the big deal. So this is when you just kind of know, like, this get a little weird. He don't really listen to what we listen to. I don't know how this is going to work.
So wait, so after he said Michael Jackson, what did you say? You stood to your get rich and die trying type of
Probably.
just to clarify too, I already had listened to Get Rich or Die Trying as well.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm literally giving my real answer, my analyzation, which is I love In the Club and I love
Off the Wall.
That's fine.
yeah, but it's like, yeah. Have you ever heard him cry? Like on a record? Like
shit.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You know what I'm saying? Like The Girl Is Mine. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I was very obsessed with Thriller around that time. And not only was I obsessed with Thriller, I was obsessed with digging about what happened with Thriller. You know?
Yo, so what got you into considering that Michael Jackson was a long time before then? You get what I'm saying? Like what made you go back to that at such a young age?
I think it's definitely pop culture. My parents were really open with music, and they weren't musicians of any sort, but they enjoyed listening to music. And I always kind of like found VH1 on TV and like MTV and stuff like that. But then like my cousin's crib was always MTV, and then like albums. It was just like my parents every Sunday, which you guys probably relate to this, 90s book kids, but like pulling out that big ass book with the fucking
all the CDs
everywhere. Flip, you know, and it's 9 a.m. and you hear what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it might have been Thriller. You know, it might have been. Thriller was the one that they played. That was the one that they didn't really play like Bad or the other ones, any of the other ones, but Dangerous, but. They definitely played Thriller, and yeah, listening to those records. I remember my dad was huge on like videotaping.
The performances and all that.
But he was huge on like labeling and like making sure that it was like. And 1993 Bucharest, Michael Jackson, Dangerous tour, going crazy. Me watching that shit all the fucking time.
It's fire, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 hours of just this guy going nuts.
You were studying from early.
And I'm just watching this, and I'm just, and trying to emulate dancing, trying to, and a part of that, like maybe sometimes I was in the shower and I started singing and I was like, oh shit, I hit the high note.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I understood that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and Michael Jackson was definitely huge during that time. But then it like grew, it changed after that. Michael, I think, just opened up like a possibility of being an entertainer. You know, my dad always said he's gonna be the best entertainer of all time. That's the reality. The reality is that he turns all his human off, and when he gets on stage, he becomes an alien. And he is the best entertainer. You know, who I see do that now is Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah,
where she Beyonce's definitely Beyonce when she's at home and all that shit. But when she gets on stage, she's Beyonce. Like,
larger than life.
Yeah. So I remember this interview, someone was like, you're Beyonce. She was like, yeah, thank you. Like you know what I'm saying? Like she knows that she's like Beyonce. Like she knows that, okay, and then I go home and I'm mom and I'm wife and I'm person. Like, but Michael Jackson's that type of person. You know,
that's very true.
He might have been really cool chilling with him and all that stuff. Despite all the all the other stuff, but like he might have been cool,
Yeah, no, it's true, man.
But when it's time to work, he was like this machine, that like if you after I watched Bucharest so many times, I go and I watch other places, Berlin. I go watch probably not Glasgow, probably like Netherlands or whatever he went. They all look the same. those are different concerts, different countries, different moments.
Those performances were huge, bro. It's not like now. Like those were live instruments. Those are dancing. The lighting, all that stuff. That's a lot it takes into like just building those. Preparing for those concerts and shit.
The amount of people that he reached to, like to connect that wanted to go to his concert, like you said, in all those places, you said it was the same. Like imagine that where you fill up the same amount of space everywhere you go. That's like you said, the greatest entertainer.
And giving your best every night. Because it's like, we go to work at 9 to 5. Like, there's days you don't want to fucking go to work, bro. Yeah. And it's like, as a performer, you got to deliver. Like, you got to have that, bro. Like, that's you got to give point. It, they're already there to see you. So you got to give it your all type shit.
Yeah.
I think it was LeBron said something like that recently. Or honestly, I might be wrong. It might have been a Kobe situation where it definitely was a Kobe thing. Where he was talking about, even during injuries or off days, he always had to play because you don't know who saved up all their money to go get that seat that's at the roof just to see him play. Yeah. Damn, and then he's off that day because his leg hurt. All right? So you have to show up and show out every single opportunity.
That's very true, man.
That's discipline. That's discipline.
100% discipline.
Yeah, that's discipline.
Guys, I don't mean to get sidetracked real quick, but there's this one question I can't get out of my mind, right? And it goes back to what you were talking about Sundays, flipping open the book, and Michael Jackson being played in your house for the cleaning days and shit like that. I wanted to ask a general question for all of us here. What was playing in the house Sunday morning on cleaning day for you guys? You said Michael Jackson, right?
That was one of them.
Yeah.
But if we go into like the traveling of like how my musical journey went, it's definitely when Mark Anthony gets played in the house, it changes everything.
Yeah.
Like now I want to learn vocal control.
Yeah.
Get it? So I'm a teenager, still haven't told anybody I want to sing.
Pushing the limits.
But now instead of hitting high notes and trying to sing The Girl Is Mine or Pretty Young Thing, I'm now trying to sing Contra la Corriente.
Yeah.
Which is a much harder song than PYT. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to sing these hard songs like now. And I can give it up to actually listening to Mark Anthony and thinking like, wow, he's gonna really this is like eventually I said, whoa, he taught me vocal control.
That's fire, bro.
Didn't you have those DVDs of him in concert also?
Yeah, but that was later. Like the albums happened first, and then my mom plays them mostly every Sunday because she loved Mark Anthony. She had all the albums, so I was playing from the beginning of the first album until like those 25-year éxitos and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like she's playing all these songs. She's playing freestyle. Like my dad's playing freestyle music from Mark Anthony. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm like, this motherfucker's singing freestyle music. Like
I didn't know that.
And then he's only a salsero now. You know what I'm saying? At this point, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Anthony, he's putting a lot of work. I watched the documentary on him, and it's crazy. His journey is like, he came to New York and shit. I don't know if I think he was born here, but it's just he had to hustle over here in New York to, get his and shit.
I mean, he's one of the last of a dying breed, right? Because like the 70s and the 80s were dominated by salseros in New York City, especially. True, coming from the Bronx, coming from Queens, coming from different places, and coming from Panama, from all these different places in Central America as well. Like, so it's like, it's like the culture of it. Mark Anthony led to me finding Fania. Learning about Ruben Blades, Willie Colon, Hector Lavoe. Like, it led to those things. So it's like it was very interesting learning the difference.
So Michael Jackson, Mark Anthony,
and Cisco.
Cisco.
Can't
Is that
forget.
what inspired
The greatest R&B artist of all time.
Cisco.
Cisco, damn.
Cisco, 100%.
Why?
He's just great, bro. Like that album is stupid. That's his only album. People be like, "Oh, Lauryn Hill the best artist because that's her only album." Yeah, Cisco too.
That's true, man.
Cisco too.
Cisco had us all talking about thongs.
They had us talking about
in
thongs.
first grade, our teachers looking at us like, "Yo, y'all know what y'all saying?"
Bro, I'll never forget. I'll never, ever, ever forget. Fernando Martinez was the kid's name. He and I were the only kids with Air Forces during the time I was in elementary school, St. Elizabeth, 187. I go to my cubby to drop off my book bag. He looks at me and he goes, "You saw the making of the video of that Cisco song?" I was like, "Yeah, I fucking watched the making of the video. That shit was amazing." He was like, "Yeah, that shit was crazy." And we walked to our desk and we sat down. The rest of the day continued. I'll never forget that fucking story, bro. Like I really cared. It was like a pivotal thing. The same way Tip Drill was a pivotal thing for us when the internet started. Jason and I watched that shit like 4 times back to back to back. Like
For being modest.
That was the explicit one or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, the explicit video. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
The iconic-
I seen that when I was a young kid. Yeah,
credit
I'm like,
card
wait,
swipe.
what? I'm like, this is what people watch after 12 o'clock when everybody's sleeping. Like, yo, this shit.
And the thing is, like, we watched it. We had a file.
Yeah.
We didn't even watch it on BET. We watched that shit. It was like, I'm not gonna disclose how we got the file, but we got the file.
Dedicated to the booty.
And then he's like, yo, you've seen that tip drill video? And I'm like, what tip drill video? He's like, bro, watch this shit.
I got the file.
And he had the file on his computer. We just kept going back, like back. I think we ordered food and then we just watched it again. Like, yeah, it was a crazy day.
Nah, that video was dope. I'm not gonna lie though. That shit was a lot.
I feel like that same effect, like that was probably like a whole puberty effect, right? But then like Cisco had that effect on me in the 4th grade, where I was like, I want to wear Air Forces. I want to dye my hair. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to like I was like, he's in like this artist, like he's like this crazy ass artist that just like
it really
took
was
over this year. You know,
that's true.
VMAs. I remember when he came out of the car, the VMAs. I remember that shit, like, because it was so important to me at that moment, you know. And yeah, I don't really find a lot of people with the same love for Cisco as me. But
Yo, am I bugging? Was he part of Drew Hill?
he was definitely part of
Okay.
it. Yeah, 100%.
I thought I was disconnecting the wrong person and shit.
What about you, Jason? You had
Who's on your Sunday playlist?
Wow.
Your families.
Dipset.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
that's
where we connect.
That's 100% where that just
Dipset.
started for me. But that's like music on your own, right? But like that Purple Haze album was definitely music on my own.
shit.
Love that.
That album was so
Till
good.
forever, till today, top 5 albums is a Purple Haze album. I don't care what comes out in the future, it's top 5 albums.
Yo, and then we got to go to school in Harlem.
Yeah.
You guys went
Randall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for high school, right?
Yeah. for high
Well, you guys
school.
went for elementary. You went together to elementary?
No, I went
yes,
in elementary school. Like I went to 173 until like 3rd grade. Then I transferred to 187 in like the middle of 3rd grade,
Yeah.
and then that's when he showed up in what
I showed up 5th.
in 5th.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we were both newbies for a little bit, middle of the year, awkward shit.
The funny story, when we finished 8th grade, I don't know why I fucking put all those high schools that I knew I was not gonna get into.
we all did. We all did.
No, but
They forced us.
but this was the difference. The difference was that my dad had put me in all these different programs to literally get into all these schools, and I did nothing but talk to girls during these programs. Like, I'll never forget that. Like, I literally would go all summer. Remember?
Yeah.
I'd go to Stuyvesant all summer, and I did nothing but talk to girls and that shit, bro.
Hey.
Nothing.
It's
So
okay. I don't blame you, bro.
when the end of the year came, I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I remember we're talking, and he's like, yo, Jesse goes to Randolph. You know, it's a smart idea. It's like, we could, I'm like, all right, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna convince my parents to put Randolph. Bro, I'll never forget when we got our envelope that told us our high school, I literally did not open my shit until I got into his face. I literally walked up to him. I walked down the stairs. He was already by like almost like the bushes. Like there's like this concrete like brick wall and then like this little entrance where you could walk across. And he was right there. It was him, Mark, Felix. I was like, where'd you get into? He's like, Randolph. I opened my shit. It said Randolph. I was like, it's lit. I was like, it's crazy. Like, yeah. And then I got kicked out.
That's funny because I mean,
Great like 15 months though. Great 15 months.
I was saying like that's funny, but not that getting kicked out. That's not funny. But it's funny that. But I met you because one of my boys, are Benny from
That
middle
went to
school
Randolph.
and elementary, went to
Love that
Randolph,
guy.
and that's how I met you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how
Crazy
we
man.
met, yeah.
The connections is just like wow.
And
Looking back at it.
even meeting Benny, I knew of him before meeting him because everybody was talking about like in Randolph, we had a few people from 187.
Yeah.
And there was a few people from 143.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
because
yeah.
we also grew up in the Heights, it was like, yo, like, we about to play football against each other. There's this guy named Benny. And I was like, who's this guy named Benny? Like, I don't know this guy named
They
Benny.
used to talk about Benny like that, bro.
Yeah, this is like freshman year.
I didn't know this. Yo,
Nah,
shout
I'm
out to
gonna be honest
Benny,
with you.
bro.
I'm gonna be
Like-
honest with you, and God is our witness. That Randolph year was different.
Yeah,
That
it was
Randolph
freshman
year
year.
was
supposed to be
different.
awkward. But
It's like, yeah, exactly. Like when you go to high school, it's supposed to be an awkward experience. You're supposed to be scared. You're supposed to be. I literally like. I remember we were older one time. Jason and I were drunk, and I was like, "Bro, we dead ass finessed high school for everyone."
yeah.
I swear to God, I swear to everything, bro. Because of what happened, That one day that Jason and I remember somebody stopped me in the middle of the street. We started talking. And then it was like Jesse was friends with them, which is his older brother. And then we all just started hanging out with them. Everyone's high school career just changed right there.
Oh yeah, your brother went to Randolph too. Yeah.
So when we came in as freshmen, he was a senior.
Yeah.
You know, automatically having that older sibling around, it brings you up a few notches. Like where you also got their style. Like you have all your knowledge is like beyond what the people who don't have that access to it is. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. Like,
and then we took it to that's like literally is the reason why I didn't go to that school and graduate. It's like we took it to a whole different level. Like it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Randolph was so much fun.
It became like a crew that everybody wanted to. This is back in ENT days, you know. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I had a lot of like you were saying, a lot of my friends from 143 went to Randolph, and it's like there was always like some shit going on. There's either it's a fight or there's a barbecue or some shit.
Something.
Now I'm like, damn, I want to be up there, but I was like all the way in Bertram, like carajo. Like,
yo, Jason, I don't know if you remember, but do you? So there was I went to Randolph for a day. I got.
Oh yeah. You got it. You went in.
I got accepted to Randolph. That was gonna be my high school, but I applied to a charter school, and they kind of like accepted me, right? But I went there for the first week. I'm like, nah. It was like a uniform and all. I'm like, nah, it's a dub. I got all these people that I already know. Same thing as I knew somebody upperclassmen. You guys are upper than me, so I'm like, yo, I go there, Benny there, Jason there. I'm like, yo, fuck that. I'm going to Randolph, bro. I tell you, yo, since I got accepted, I brought like my note with me or whatever. I just went into the school with everybody that I knew. Walking through the school. Everybody's going to classes. I'm like, I don't even know where to go. Like, I go to the guidance counselor or whatever. I go to the guidance counselor. I go to the guidance counselor, and they're like, yo, you're not supposed to be here. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got accepted. I want to come here. I got like my proof and shit like that. And they're like, yo, we can't let you go home. So like you gotta call your mom and she gotta pick you up. Like you're not supposed to be here. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like I was this close to being with y'all Randolph.
So how you thought you got accepted to it, but you wasn't
I got accepted to Randolph, but since I applied to a charter school, it was like different than the actual like you know what I'm saying. Okay. But since they already had like I already went to school for that week, they already like kind of like that's where I'm at. So Randolph was a dub. But I feel like if I would have went to Randolph, I probably would have been worse than what I ended up being because like having all that fun, like my school was like it was fun, but it was like a little bit more strict than I think Randolph would have been. So maybe it was for the best and shit. But at least I still got to fucking meet you guys and vibe out with you and still be here fucking today.
Mm-hmm. All these years later,
baby.
That's very true, yo.
All right, so back to what was on. What was your mom playing while she was?
Wow. I mean, my mom loves like Billy Joel. Like she loves like Billy Joel, like Whitney Houston. Like she'll play things like that, but she just loves the 80s. Like even now, she'll just put like the Music Choice channel. Like she doesn't like and that's the thing. Like we still always had the radio on. Whether
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Whether it's she's cooking, we're cleaning, it's whatever. Like it would just it would be a certain time. Yeah, we had a bathroom radio, we had a kitchen radio. The alarm clock was a radio. Yeah. It was just always on. And it would just be, you know, like many Dominican households, Hispanic households, TV's off, music's on.
That's true.
Better find a broom. Better get that Windex. Better get that ass whooping. But yeah, she just loves, and even now, she'll find that Music Choice channel on demand and just put the 80s on and just reminisce.
That's fine.
Well, yeah, the other day we saw a Bee Gees documentary. We both took edibles. Amazing. Watching Bee Gees documentary.
Rewind.
Yes, sir.
How?
Yes, sir.
How is that?
Years of convincing. Okay. But
vibing.
Yeah, and she rocks with it. Like
that's fine.
At first I was like, it's gonna help you sleep. That's all. You gonna chill, you gonna sleep. You don't gotta do these Ambiens, these sleeping pills.
Yeah, nah.
It's all about the edibles. So she's open minded to it. And I was like, but we gotta watch a movie. We gotta do something. And we watching the Bee Gees thing, and she's cracking up. And there's no joke. And she's laughing, and she looks at me, and I'm dying because she's just having the time of her life. And I look at her, and she's like, I have no idea what I'm laughing at. And it was just a beautiful thing to see. And there was a time where even watching it, she got emotional. Yeah. Because she's like, yo, I remember where I was when these songs came out. Jeez, I remember what I was doing. I remember like the mood this made me feel. And
I love hearing that from people like our parents.
Yeah.
I love hearing that shit.
It's a big reminiscence aspect, and that's good.
She said that after doing the edible and listening to it, or like before that, she'll listen to the music, but she didn't feel the same way. Like,
she's always felt it, but
it was the edible that brought it out for her to express that to you, and for her to feel it.
Yeah, the feeling gets intensified. Just even watching it, you just get lost into the movie. But I feel like she's watching the movie, but then got taken back to where she was at, not paying attention to what's going on.
That's fine.
That's as good as edibles too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
shit, that
and that stuff is huge because I think that's what also like made me very eclectic with the things that I like when it comes to music or just things in general. Right? Like,
that's true. I feel like the way we grew up is just like you're saying, like the radio is always on and stuff like that. Like what else do we have? It's not like now the generations now they got iPads and shit like that. It's either you playing sports or you're inside and you're gonna listen to some music or watch the news or some shit like that. But what about you? What type of music was being played?
I was gonna ask you cheater. No, I'll answer.
Yeah, whichever.
So, I have a couple answers. One of them is because I grew up in my mom's house. I grew up with my mom.
I know one of them already.
So it's gonna be freestyle off the rip. Freestyle music.
That's my dad's music.
Spring love, come on now. Like you get for me.
Come back to me.
Those are the vibes that I'll never forget, and I'll listen to that shit on myself just to vibe and to feel that. Like how you said how your mom felt that. I'll play that just to feel it. I'll play that on, like. I'm pretty sure like we've been in a car together and it's just me and him and I'll put some freestyle. I don't care how you feel that I'm gonna play freestyle right now, but we gonna vibe right now. We gonna both get into that vibe. You get me? Sure, so like I'll play that just because of the feeling that I get. My mom was straight up freestyle while cleaning, but
was she originally from the Bronx?
Nah, my mom's from DR, straight up DR to Dykeman.
Okay,
right. DR to Dykeman, yeah. But also like I'll spend weekends at my dad's, and my dad's a DJ. So he'll just be spinning songs. I'll go to some parties with him on Saturdays. Like he'll bring us because he'll have us during the weekend. So he's like, "Fuck, I gotta bring my kids." He bring the kids, and I just the amount of music that came into my head. But the one that sticks out the most, like while being with him, it was reggae, but dancehall specifically. Oh, wow. And I used to front because I didn't really want to be with my dad. I'd rather have been with my mom and shit like that. But it was like he wanted some time with us, so it was like fuck it. But I used to front like I don't want to hear nothing that he's playing. But like looking back, it's like yo, that's the reason why I love dancehall so much to this day, reggae so much to this day, because I have that familiarity and it brings me back. And also those are fucking great songs. These are songs that you could play that in a house party right now, and I'm telling you, people are gonna get fucking dirty to that shit. To those rhythms, like there's nothing like those 90s, early 2000s rhythms that used to be in them dance halls. Yo,
that's fire.
And all of them used to be fire. Like I remember being like my mind blown that there was 7 songs that are fucking hits that are to the same fucking beat.
Yeah, different artists.
And it's just different takes on it. And yo, one of my favorite musical categories. Like sometimes I feel like I might have been Jamaican in a like dead ass like in a past life, because like even with like understanding how they speak, like through my like my listening of the music, it makes me feel like yo fuck, I feel connected with them as well. That's so awesome. That was definitely dancehall and shit like that.
I love that music could do that.
Yeah.
Yo, that culture of dubbing though is amazing. On one beat and you dubbing different songs.
Yeah.
I've told them that. I was like, I went to a party once. And it's a song that was super famous. And it had a dub. You know what it did to the room? When somebody goes, wait a minute, that's not the original. It goes crazy. Yep. It goes nuts.
Shit.
They feel like they're listening to something that they understand for the first time ever. Like, it's nuts. It's amazing. I love that about Caribbean music, period.
That's true, though.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing.
How about you, Louis? What was on the playlist?
We had a lot of bachatas, Dominican growing up in Washington Heights, a lot of bachata merengue. But I know when I was for like 2 years, I lived with my mom in DR. I got sent back to DR. Well, my other siblings were here and my dad. And while I was there, she used to listen to a lot of Ana Gabriel and like just all like those kind of like rancheras, like not too much of that, but like Ana Gabriel. I used to listen to Luis Miguel,
Juan Gabriel
también, some of that. But I don't know, for some reason, I feel like Ana Gabriel just really stuck out a lot because she loved her a lot. Like, and she'll play that. And then I just remember listening to her and it's just like, her voice is freaking amazing. Yeah, but then after that, I also lived, I came back to the States and I was living with the rest of my siblings. And, I have my brothers are older and my sister and stuff, but my brothers, that was around that time where DJ Playero and reggaeton, it was like really on the ground, so it was coming up. So my brothers, I don't know how, but I think they used to buy the tapes. They'll probably buy the tapes in Harlem because we used to live in Harlem. We used to buy the tapes and they used to bring them home and just play it on the boombox or the radio we had. But at that time, that music was so like Latinos were so against it that my father will find the tape and he'll be like, "Yo, this is trash music. Like you're not supposed to be listening to this." And he'll throw it in the garbage, bro. He used to do that. And then my brothers just kept, buying some more. And then my brother also put me onto Vico C, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that CD of Vico C. And it's just like...
My uncle put me onto Vico C.
Yo, that's right? Amazing. Like at a young age, bro, like that shit, just listening to the lyrics that he had. Because it wasn't just like, just talking about ass or this and that. But his shit was straight lyrics. And just me, like, you getting that, like, on the Spanish side of things, it was great. Because then later on, the same brother... he introduced me to like Tupac and American music and English music and stuff like that. But it was like mostly that Tupac, that old school type of shit. So like I feel like the lyrics and all of that, I always retained that and from the Spanish and it went, to the English market. And I don't know, man. I felt like that's how I just build my music catalog and stuff.
Have you guys ever spoken to old heads about reggaeton? It backfires.
They love it now.
No, it does, but it backfires because you're like, Don Omar this, Daddy Yankee that. And they're like, Vico C and El General started that shit. And you're like, all right.
That's true, yo. That's true. They'll go back to that.
Immediately, they're going to be like, El General been doing this for 10 years. And I'm like...
Classic song. Remember Bomba?
Shit. Like, and it's true. They're right. True. They're 100% right. But it's like, you could have just embraced the new shit instead of just telling us about what the fuck happened 10 years ago. Like,
that's very true. And it's important, though, like, that you notice that because I feel like sometimes, or at least me, like, something that could happen to me as a producer, engineer, whatever, like, sometimes we be so busy with our stuff and working on our stuff and listening to like the music that we grew up around and stuff like art like J. Cole type shit. But it's like sometimes we also forget, it's like, we got to listen to the younger generation because it's like, to us, it might sound a little bit like, oh, that's not usually what I listen to. But you got to see like where they're coming from and what they're talking about because eventually that's what's going to help you craft your sound 100%. And continue, that longevity type shit.
It's always something that you could like, build from.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody has something to say. Everybody has their expression. So why not be able to have the fullest expression possible?
And sometimes we forget that like those younger generations are coming off, they're piggybacking off something that older generations came from. Like, like you're saying Vico C, General, then come Don Omar, Daddy Yankee, then come Jay Cortez and like Mike Towers. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But that essence is still there, I feel like.
100%. Yeah.
All right, so this is a songwriting question, right? Yeah. So when you write for other artists, you create, you make songs. Yeah. Now, like that's one part of that part of the business. The other part will be like actually getting the placements and then whatever the points. Can you actually explain that a little bit for somebody who's not too familiar?
Oh man, that's a long conversation.
a little bit.
But the way I can help is this: do your homework. Do your homework. Do your homework. Every situation is different. Every situation is particular to whoever's working the situation. How you got to connect to the situation. So if you're Rihanna and somebody got you to Rihanna, what if they're fourth string? You know what I'm saying? That if they're fourth string, you're definitely not going to get a lot of credit on the song.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do your homework. Don't depend on other people for your homework. Don't assume that you know what's happening because you have no idea. You have no idea. Anything could change in a heartbeat. Rihanna was supposed to release an album 2 years ago.
That's true, yeah.
2 years ago. She's chilling. She's living her life. She's chilling.
That fancy hitting.
So she's not gonna. She doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Shit. So do your homework. Do your homework for sure. When it comes, the reason why I don't want to get into like points and all that other stuff is because like that's literally a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
You know, like because you have to talk lawyers, you have to talk whether you're part of any management, you have to talk about relationships.
So this is how you get paid, though, correct? Or is there multiple ways to get paid through songwriting?
There's multiple ways.
Yeah,
because like you can have a fee, right? So I can walk into a room with a 5-hour clock, and my fee is paid, or I can walk into a room and work towards master, towards having points on a master. You know, so it's like that's chess. That's also back to high risk, high reward. That's also the same conversation, right?
True,
where it's like we have to speak and say, hey, is this one of those situations or not? You know, I know a lot of, well, not a lot of people, but some people might watch this and I've maybe deaded them in the process, but it might have not been valuable to my time at the moment. And that's not sounding like a dick. Like I still have bills, I still have all that other stuff. I still like,
no, yeah, of course.
You know, so it's like I have to be right with my time. You know,
and
it's like I can go hang out with someone for 6 hours, but if I know that nothing's necessarily gonna come out of it, I can't probably do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might not be valuable to our time. I'm not thinking about only myself at this point.
That's
I have
true,
a team to think about. You know, I have priority. You know, so it's like those are conversations that we have. You know, those are conversations that I leave somewhere, I leave a meeting, I leave a session, and I'm like, hey Jay, what do you think? Like, does this make sense? You know, does it make sense for us to spend X amount on a budget to do this? You know, does it make sense to spend cab money to do this? You know, because sometimes when I get put on a project, it could take weeks.
Yeah.
So that's cab money, that's food money. Because even if I'm prepared and I take a sandwich, if I'm there for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours,
you're gonna need 2 meals or more. Right? Yeah, it's true.
You know,
so you're not necessarily banking on getting a placement. There's multiple ways. That's what the point I want to get to. There's multiple ways to get paid through what you're doing. So you're not necessarily banking on I'm gonna get on this Drake album or whatever. Like you're doing multiple things at once in order to make your living as well.
Yeah, that has 2 answers for me. The first answer is go get that Drake placement, go get that Post placement, go get that Rihanna placement. You know, shoot for the stars. You know what I'm saying? But also get 1,000 beginner artist placements as well.
True,
because
of course.
That builds connection, that builds relationship, that gets you a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? It might not be 2 points on a Drake song. You're not getting paid $300,000 a year because you're fucking getting a Drake song, but still,
yeah, of course.
Like go get your $2,000 royalty. Build up that, you know. And this is speaking from someone who I'm talking to the people that are in their room still. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the people that are still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like go get that small placement. You know, build a relationship with the people you get a small placement with, and those that artist can become big. B, that can lead to 15 other placements in a year.
That's very true. Yeah, more work.
More work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like always find a way to make the situation better, you know, and not feel. I know earlier we were talking and you said like you can work really hard, but then like there's a day where you feel like you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
No, and it's like there's a lot of people I know that like they get tight when they don't get that big placement, and like their life goes to shit for like 2 weeks, and it's I personally can only tell you one thing: it's like don't do that, right? Like please, like don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, get up, keep going.
Yeah,
because guess what? In those 2 weeks, there's 8 other writers that are so ambitious,
so fucking true,
that are working really hard, and they're gonna whip your ass.
That's a great point.
That's true, man.
And they're gonna whoop your ass in those 2 weeks alone.
It's interesting because it goes to anything. It could be businesses, like it could be it
could be a
whatever
lunch, it could be a handshake, like, it could be anything.
Anything,
because
bro.
you were depressed, you didn't go to that dinner.
Yeah,
and that one kid did.
Yeah, that's so fucking true, man.
You know, so it's like always like just be open to like the opportunity.
Yeah,
you know, be open to the possibility. I remember when I figured out like I remember telling him like going outside is like a necessity. And at the time he battled me only because we didn't have money to go outside.
Yeah.
It's not that he wasn't open to the idea. He was being responsible.
Of course, yeah.
You know, he was being responsible for all of us and saying like, no, this is a bad idea. But eventually we started to see that it was the best idea. That like me being in the room is cool. But it mattered. It mattered me being on the street. It mattered me being in that club. It mattered me being in that environment.
That's true.
You know, it mattered. So it's like, I will tell young people to go outside.
Yeah, get that balance.
Go shake a
like
hand.
Talking about,
you know, go have a drink
with intention.
With intention.
Yeah.
Because we've all been on way too many nights where you just end up spending too much money to just get drunk.
Yeah.
To have that hangover the next day, and your headache gets even harder when you open up that bank account on your phone.
But also,
and for what? Sometimes for the story, sometimes for the night.
But also, if you're 18, that's high risk, high reward.
True.
It is.
It's a balance, bro. It all goes back to having that balance.
That's high risk, high reward. Because what did I just say? I literally went over there with $800 something, spent $700. That was high risk, high reward. My mom probably wanted me to like save half that money in an account, right? Of
course, yeah.
And be like, damn, you're doing a great job. Like, that's not what happened.
But it's so great though that at that age you already knew that. That's so that's great because someone else.
Well, I didn't know though.
Like, you didn't know, like
no. When I bought Pro Tools and everything, I had no idea. All I did was I was like, I almost maybe wanted to prove a point. I wanted to be like, I'm serious.
But something about you just led you to make that decision, and I feel like that's something that we talking in other episodes. That it's just that thing that like we each have that voice that is like it's telling us like, yo, like
that's what it was.
You should do this type shit, and it's like. You could ignore it and all of that, and it gets more difficult as you get more, you get influences from outside, your friends, like, yo, come on, let's go drink. Like, what are you talking about? There were times like, when I was working at the bank, I was still, I was doing at my studio and working at the bank, and my coworkers are going out to drink, and I'm sad, bro. I'm like, damn, I wish I could go with them, but guess what? I have a session at my studio that I gotta go do for 4 hours, so then take a train to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Like, I didn't want to do that shit, bro, but it's like I had already planned it like that. This is my reality type shit, so I can't.
High risk, high reward.
Exactly, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
High risk, high reward. Because there's everybody else that's still gonna be like, yo, you should do that. You should go take that drink. You should do that.
Yeah,
but
right?
the reality of it is that they're never gonna take a high risk.
That and it's like nobody's gonna pay the bills for you. Nobody's gonna make the decisions for you. You gotta live with your decisions for the rest of your life. So it's like, it is what it is. You gotta figure that shit out.
Yeah, 100%.
This is one of the big reasons that I wanted Jason on the podcast as well. Jason, we all been cool for such a long time, and you guys have been cool for even longer. You guys have been cool since you said what, like 5th grade?
Yeah. Come on.
How
like 20 years now?
Yeah.
More, right? More than 20 years.
Yeah.
So how did it come out to, like, obviously you believed in him and you heard what he had to say, how he went about being relentless, like you said. What got you both to take the route of working with each other, and what made you want to have the role that you have that you're playing now? For those of you who don't know, he's his manager. So how does that dynamic work?
Trust.
Yeah, it's 100% trust.
We've been through.
That's true.
This is my brother, right? So I understand the route he's taking. Right, we all see it, whether we watch interviews or these are people we listen to on our iPods, whatever it was when we was growing up. But hearing him talk about this, hearing how passionate he is about it, and then seeing that other people could get involved who are not as passionate or who don't have the same mentality that he does or that we do. Because we talk about this, maybe even when we were kids, we would talk on the phone for so many hours. We're like, I've had ex-girlfriends get mad at me for how what our relationship is like. How come we don't talk on the phone like that? Right? But it's a certain type of communication, honesty, transparency, trust. Like, there's a lot that comes involved. So when at first, I was skeptical. He's the guy who's in the clouds, right? I've been responsible a lot in my life. So the way I saw it eventually was just like, I'm flying a kite in a way, right? Where like he's still up there, and I'm just gonna like have a little direction with it, make sure it doesn't get too far off, and make sure we go where we need to go. Right?
That's so dope, yeah.
And when we've seen that, when we had an introduction into somebody who people just try to get involved, and we're like, I don't know if this is the way I would make a decision. So in the beginning, I was like taken aback. I'm gonna be business manager.
Yeah.
I was like, when you make it big and there's commas in these bank accounts, then I'm gonna jump on board.
Which was like the basis of it, right? It was like trust. It was like I always we'd have meetings with people, but then in the side meeting, it's like, Jay, I don't want to trust anyone with my money.
And that's fair enough. You guys had that trust. You guys already built that for years.
It's more of a it's like a build up, right? It's a build up of like course, other things, and then it lands into this one box, which is like, yo, if there's money involved, I don't want anybody touching it. I don't want anybody talking about it. I don't want anybody doing it but us.
Exactly, yeah.
And then it grew.
Yeah.
Sure.
It grew into, I don't trust anybody with anything. Really, it really did. And it was personal experience.
Yeah.
It was going and dealing with people and seeing how people are.
It's true.
And people are shitty, bro. Like that's the reality of it, you know? And it's like we got to see that firsthand, and it led us to just looking at each other.
Like it seems so obvious now.
Yeah.
But in the
It's like-
beginning, it was something I was personally so skeptical. And then when I told him like, let's do it, he was like, finally, like, let's do this. He's like, it's supposed to be nobody but you.
Yeah, that's
And-
fine.
and that's
the
the way
first
it
time I
felt.
brought it up to him, he was like, "No." He's like, "That's so scary," and like, no, like, you know, like-
Because I jump in between like shit that's scary and things that just make me feel grounded. Right? Like that's what it is. And even to this day, I still feel the same way. Right? It's scary because we're talking about high risk, high rewards.
Yeah.
We have no idea where things are gonna go.
yeah,
We know it's gonna go up.
Yeah.
But we don't know when. We don't know how
How.
much. We don't know how. We don't know by who. It's a lot of still variables that come into play. But
True.
then the stability sometimes it's like I'm talking about the relentlessness, the work, the work ethic. To me, that's the stability where I can still feel like I'm half in, half out. In this, not half in terms of where my passion is, but in terms of the fact of like, let's take chances, but let's also make sure we're still being realistic.
It's fire, bro. It's fire that you guys have that.
Yeah. And
it's crazy because
natural.
crazy has become realistic.
Yeah.
Which is so insane because like at one point I feel like we were talking and we were like, yo, when it gets crazy, it might be like this extravagant thing. Like, and the way my career has gone is like crazy has become like almost like a secret reward.
Yeah.
You know? Like where like we're the only ones talking about what's happening and nobody else knows. You know, and it's like I love that feeling.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes that's what it is. It's like, you know, like we have conversations like that, and it's like, you know, we plan stuff together, and it's like sometimes it's just you too, like just figuring that shit out. Like sometimes it's just people can't see it like the way that you guys see it, and it's like it's really important to have that, like, you know, it's important that you guys have that conversation, that connection, because you guys fuel, you know, from each other, and you guys build something stronger from each other and stuff like that
100%.
together.
Yeah.
But I also like another thing too, because we spoke about kids, like younger people that maybe watch this. You know what I'm saying? Having a relationship, any relationship, is work.
Of course, yeah.
I don't want anybody to think that like any relationship I have that's tight is like something that was just like anointed to me.
Yeah.
Like
You work at it.
you work
always,
at it.
constantly.
Like I look at it's like it's weird to say like this, I guess, for people, but it's like the way I look at my future with my girlfriend is the same way I look at my future with Jason. Same way I look at my future with my mom.
Yeah.
It's the same way I look at my future with my sister. I have to
So
continuously
true.
work on it. Just because my sister and I have the same DNA does not mean that I have some obligation to have a perfect relationship with her. I have to be a good person. I have to reflect. I have to be able to be upfront, you know,
So
in my
true,
relationship with her to be able to grow. And the same
That's
thing
so true.
applies here. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing applies here.
And it's funny because like obviously we started as friends and then now we call each other brothers. But a lot of time family, that's just there, right? You don't pick that. But you decide if you want your family to be your friends.
Yeah.
That's true.
And that's the biggest part. So that takes the work. It's not just like he said, the DNA.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
So
the
true.
it's the effort.
I call him my brother too because his mom called me her son.
yeah.
So I got a jump start.
If the mom said it, she stamped it.
I got a
That's it,
jump
bro.
start. I
That's
got a
it.
jump start on
Stamped.
saying brother. You know what I'm saying? Because like she was like, this motherfucker's always in my house.
Yeah.
He's always here.
And even that, his mom on my phone, mom number 2. That's how she
Yeah.
saved.
Shit.
That's
That's how she
literally
saved.
what I have his saved as too. Yeah, literally.
That's fire, bro.
Like, because that's what it is.
Shit.
Yeah. It's funny.
You have any other questions?
I love it. I'm gonna ask this. Is the last question. It's the
I
it's
feel
the
like
question.
we at a great spot to like.
This is a question that we started asking on the second episode, and it started with me and him. The question is, if you were to give one piece of advice to the person watching this about anything in the world, it could be about fucking wiping your ass. Like, what's the best way to wipe your ass? But like, if you give that person one piece of advice that you think would be beneficial to them at this moment in time that you feel, what is that piece of advice?
I have 2 sayings.
Okay, for sure.
You're never gonna die the teacher, you're always gonna die a student. And the second one is look in the mirror.
Fire, bro.
Damn, those are deep.
Yeah.
Looking in the mirror is the most important thing ever.
100%.
Ever. if I lied to my spouse, if I lied to my best friend, if I lied to my mom, I lied before I did it.
So true. Yeah.
I lied way before I did it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the kid got to do that. Like I feel like I didn't have the confidence to do that as a kid. You know, but as I grew up,
Yeah.
this is the only way I live now.
You have
That's
to.
true. Yeah. So true.
Yeah, we're
To
reflection
be the best version of yourself.
of
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah,
That also, like we were talking about earlier.
I'm sweating. I'm not crying. I really am. No, it's like falling into my fucking eyes because of the speakers, because of the headphones.
Good
But yeah.
excuse.
No, for real, it's like really falling into my. All right, but yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but that's so true. Like, what were you saying before?
Ah,
You
fuck,
know?
you
You forgot. No. But that is so true because it's like I always found that like interesting too. Like how some people like there's people that just they lie about a lot of stuff. But like growing up, I noticed I'm like, yo, if you don't lie about stuff, you don't gotta worry about shit. Like, oh, I remember I lied to this guy about my baseball or some shit. Like just be honest, bro. You don't.
It's maintenance when you lie.
Yeah, that stuff you don't gotta carry along and like. You just don't need that, bro.
That shit rubs off on
It
everybody
does,
too.
you know.
If you're able to live in your truth, that just inspires somebody else to do the same thing while around you. And what do you want around you? You don't want fucking liars around you, so don't fucking be a liar. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is that's a negative thing that you shouldn't be doing. Just don't fucking do it, and you'll be fine. But if you constantly have these things that like these bullshit that's happening to you, that's a reflection of you. Regardless, it could be like the smallest. The smallest little thing or whatever it may be, but that's we're all reflections of each other. We're all part of the
I was gonna say that. The reason why it's important to do the mirror is because we're reflections of each other.
Yeah.
As humans, period. Like, forget about the fact that like you're my best friend. Like, as humans, period, we're reflections of each other.
Yeah.
Like something that if you have a coworker, if you have a family member, if you don't like something about them, it's literally because there's something in you that you see them do that you don't like about yourself. That's a fact.
That is very true. Yeah.
That's a fucking fact. Because when you forgive that person for doing that shit, you find peace.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning
Having
that
that-
something in you found peace.
Yep.
Meaning that the problem was with you.
Yeah. And it
Always
goes
to
back.
begin with.
It usually goes back to having that sympathy, like for someone, and it's like
It's more empathy. I don't even think it's
that's
sympathy.
true. Yeah,
I think
empathy,
it's more
yeah.
empathy.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
it's like you're really like putting their shoe on.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, I always tell him like everything leads back to psychology. Like the reason why I act a certain way, the reason why I sit a certain way is because of my parents, because of my family members, because it's like a psychology behind it. So it's like when somebody acts a certain way, you don't like it. Go back to your psychology. Don't go back to theirs. You're just judging them at that point.
Mm-hmm. That's so true, man. Shit.
It's a fact.
That's a good note. How about you, Jason? What was the question? The advice.
Was
Yeah.
the
I already
advice.
forgot.
Yeah, but honestly, man, you guys hit it. It's a mix of like look in the mirror and don't be a fucking liar. Like I really think that's what you should underline, bold, italicize. Like that's tattooed on your fucking forehead. So you look in the mirror and you don't forget.
That's so
because
true.
that's really it. If I had anything else on the softer side, just try.
Just try.
But try fucking hard.
No.
Yeah.
No,
But
try is a good one. Try is a good one. Because like in anything, if you don't try, you're never gonna find out the outcome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And I used
really
to be
never gonna
I used
know.
to be a little more discouraged. Like if I tried something and there's 4 of us here and I'm the 4th ranking one. Like
That doesn't matter.
it doesn't. But for a while I was like,
Yeah.
I'm stuck in this room.
That's the ego.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's that. And
But
you don't really come over that until you talk in the mirror.
With practice,
and figure that shit out.
It's true, yeah. You figure it out, You figure it out by talking to yourself in the mirror, and then, just after that, okay, you're just going to take practice. I got some bad programming in me that, I grew up like this or whatever the case may be.
I like that.
Practice to get it
programming.
out.
Yeah,
That's all what it is, bro. Like, we
Yeah.
could get it out. Like,
That's fire.
Because it's not your fault.
That's what it is, bro.
Sometimes it's really not your fault.
That also
It's
shows the
actually,
era you lived in, or we
Yeah.
lived in, for the bad programming.
That's true.
Yeah, we get to do analogies with technology. That's fire.
True. How about you? Well, what you got for this episode?
So to touch on, mine is piggybacking off of what Jason said about try, right? My thing is practice resilience, because that's what's gonna make your trying. That's what's gonna make you bounce back when shit doesn't work out the way that you want to. You know what I mean? That like if you're resilient, you're just gonna continue to be relentless. You're gonna continue to work at what you feel like you were put here for, what you were put here for. So if you're resilient, that's one of the qualities that will push you and drive you to like, yo, if you fall, instead of it taking 2 weeks to fucking, to get back on and whatever, that's 2 weeks wasted. Fuck, let that shit last 2 minutes. You back at it. That's what resilience is. So practice resilience. Don't fall and stay down there, because that's only temporary. Like keep going. Be resilient.
Yeah. The one that got us, I think, and without even looking at him, I know he's gonna be like, "Yep." The one that got us through it was, "It takes 1,000 no's to get one yes."
Yeah.
It takes 1,000 no's to get one yes.
So true.
So whenever I call him and it's like it's a no, it's like we're like, all right, cool, 976.
And by the time you're at 900, it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. You know how many times we've gone through this?
Yeah, by the time we get to 900,
you're 100%. We're talking about this resilience, because like even now, like I try to make all decisions on some worst case scenario. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
You tell me no,
and that goes back to roll, right? That goes back to like what he said, roll.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not thinking like that. I'm just like, yo, I think this is it. And he's like, all right, cool. And then he goes.
But that's so great that you guys have that balance. It's true, bro. Because sometimes we just, like as entrepreneurs and stuff, we don't, and artists, creators, we don't have that, So it's so great that you guys have that. You guys are able to elevate each other like that on that level.
Grateful, 100% grateful.
Yeah,
very grateful.
Achilles music. Lewis.
For me, it's just the same thing, man. I feel like we like around the same ballpark. Just trusting the process. I feel like, and I feel like with you guys definitely demonstrated that, your story and stuff like that, how you guys just, you went to LA, like you didn't even know what was going on, bro. Like you just, you figure it out, and you got your boy over here helping you out, like type shit. He could have just like fell through and like, yo, like I got other shit to do, bro. Like, but nah, that's not, you guys already had that connection that you guys, worked on for a lot of years and shit.
And we spoke about working relationships and stuff like that. I literally 2 days ago looked them in the eye and told them thank you.
Yeah, man, that's dope, man. That's how it should be, bro.
Like other people, I feel like think like, oh no, we know, thank you already. Like, nah,
yeah, that's
like,
true.
Look at me, I'm rolling my weed, but thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to know that, because it's like, this shit ain't easy.
That's true, man.
This shit is not easy, bro. This shit is not fucking easy. Like, so you have to say thank you.
I feel like it's amazing that you brought that up, because what popped in my mind right now as the podcast is ending was I wanted to thank both of you guys for being on. Like
so
literally,
true.
like I had that feeling of gratefulness that you guys, that we're able to still be connected, although you guys might be miles away. We don't speak for a certain amount of time, and then it always picks back up.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you guys for remaining who you are, being open and continue to follow your path, and realizing also being open to come here and realizing that we're on the same vibe, even if that may not have been the first thing on your mind. Like, oh, we're going because we're on the same type of time. Mm-hmm. It's like, the reason why you're here is because of that. So I want to thank you guys for being on. I fucking love you guys.
I love you too. And I want to tell you, thank you for responding to the comment. Always. Because that's a crazy way to shoot your shot. And it's also something that I did, and then I showed him. I didn't tell him, and then I did it, and then I said, look what I did. Because it was one of those things where it was like impulsive.
Again, thank you guys. I love you guys. And I'm looking forward to making this shit happen. Again, it's definitely not going to be the last time.
Not at all.
It's just the first
I'm
time.
literally calling it right now. Wherever I'm at in the world, there's a part 2.
Yeah, for sure. Bro, before you guys leave, though, I want to, you guys want to share your social media and stuff like that? If you guys, anybody want to follow
mine's
you guys?
actually just Forget Noel on all platforms. Yeah. Okay. No different spelling, just Forget Noel.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mine is also Forget Noel. just follow him.
Yeah.
That's all you need to see.
Yeah, are you handling his account? You handling his account?
He a grown man.
Okay.
He grown. He posts what he want.
Yeah. That's what the bank account says. Forget Noel. What's your serial number? No, but thank you guys, man, for real. I really I had a feeling that this was the right place to do this.
Yeah, thank you guys for
coming
over.
And it was definitely the right place to do this. So thank you.
Nothing but love over here.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, bro.
Big
beautiful.
Fucking talk. Episode 5.
Y'all already know.
Love y'all. All of y'all.
Peace out, guys.
Wow, man.
That's 5, bro. You guys killed it.
Yo, that was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Fuck you guys.
That's cool.